All right, so are consoles on their way out? That's what we're looking at today in this deep dive.
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it?
It is. We got some interesting stuff to dig into. We've got an interview with PlayStation's CEO, Hideaki Nishino,
Right.
plus a whole Reddit thread that's basically dissecting his every word. So,
People are really interested in this topic.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's good reason to be right. PC gaming's getting bigger. Cloud gaming is this thing that's looming out there.
Yeah, it's like this big unknown, right?
Yeah.
Is it gonna take over? Is it gonna
Yeah.
fizzle out? Nobody really knows.
Exactly right. So let's start with what Nishino himself said, because he was pretty clear that consoles are going to be around for a while. At least that's what he said.
Yeah, for some time was the phrase he used. I mean, what does that even mean, really?
Right. Like how long
Yeah.
is some time?
Exactly. Could be 5 years, could be 10, who knows?
Exactly. And he did point to the PS4 still doing really well
Yeah.
and the PS5 gaining momentum.
Right. But at the same time, he acknowledged that PC gaming is, it's a growing force, and he even mentioned the Steam Deck.
Yeah, which is interesting. So it's
Mhm.
like he's not saying consoles are dead, but he's also not ignoring what's happening around him.
Right. It's like he's trying to be optimistic, but also realistic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing that really stood out to me from his interview
Mm-hmm.
was how he emphasized the need for dedicated hardware,
Even with cloud gaming.
even with cloud gaming.
Right.
Yeah. Like he used the PS Portal as an example and said,
Yeah.
you still need a controller, you still need a screen.
Yeah. You're not going to be playing on your phone, at least not comfortably.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like he's saying, hey, cloud gaming might be cool, but don't throw out your PlayStations just yet.
Right.
But let's get to what the PlayStation community thinks, because, we dug up this Reddit thread.
Oh, yeah. Those Reddit threads, they're always a goldmine.
They are, and there's a lot of different opinions in there, but one thing that kept coming up is this idea that consoles are just the cheapest and easiest way to play.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like one person even posted a link to a PS5 that was on sale for $374.
Wow.
And they were like, try building a PC for that price.
Yeah, good luck.
Exactly.
Especially if you want it to be even close to as powerful.
Right. And then there's the whole convenience factor, too, right? You just plug it in and you play. You don't have to worry about driver updates or troubleshooting weird glitches.
Oh my God, yeah, the glitches.
Like a nightmare sometime.
I remember spending an entire weekend
Oh, no.
trying to get a new graphics card to work with my PC, and it was just like
It's the worst.
the worst. So I think those Reddit comments really highlight that frustration that some people have with PCs.
Absolutely. And for a lot of people, it's just not worth the hassle. They just want to play games.
Exactly. But, okay, so there is a counter argument out there, and some people were saying PC gaming is getting easier, especially with these pre-built gaming laptops.
And the Steam Deck.
The Steam Deck, right? Yeah.
Which, yeah, it is kind of a console, but it runs PC games.
Right. It's kind of blurring those lines. And those pre-built systems are really good for people who don't want to build their own PC.
Right. You don't have to be a tech wizard to get into PC gaming anymore.
Exactly. So maybe that whole PC gaming is too complicated argument is, starting to lose a bit of its weight.
Yeah, maybe. But I still think consoles have a strong hold on the market, especially for people who want something that's affordable and just works.
Right. Easy to use.
Exactly. Plug and play.
No headaches.
Exactly. Welcome back to our deep dive. So last time we were talking about what might get people to upgrade in the future, especially with those exclusives becoming less of a guarantee and the performance jumps getting smaller.
Yeah. It feels like those big upgrades aren't as impactful as they used to be.
Right. It's almost like we're hitting a point of diminishing returns.
Right. So what's next? What's going to get us excited about new hardware?
Well, from what we're seeing, it might be less about those huge generational leaps and more about constantly evolving the platform.
Okay, so what do you mean by that?
So think smaller, more frequent upgrades, kind of like how we get new phone models every year.
So instead of waiting for the PS6, we might just see a steady stream of new PlayStation hardware.
Exactly. It seems like that's the model that's gaining traction in a lot of tech, and it kind of makes sense for gaming, too. Nishino even hinted at this in his interview. He talked about a long PS5 life cycle and continually releasing new products.
But wouldn't that mean we're always chasing the next upgrade? Never really satisfied with what we have?
That's definitely a possibility, right? It could change how we think about gaming hardware, make us less attached to specific console generations.
Always looking to the future.
Yeah, but it could also mean we're always on the cutting edge, experiencing those advancements as they happen.
Okay, I see both sides of that for sure. So if this constant evolution idea is the future, what kind of upgrades are we talking about? Where's PlayStation focusing?
Two words: AI and ray tracing.
Oh yeah, those are the buzzwords that Nishino dropped in the interview.
They are, and they're huge GE in the industry right now.
AI in gaming, though, it sounds super futuristic, but gotta admit, I don't really get what it means for actually playing games.
AI could revolutionize everything about games, from how they're made to how we experience them.
Okay, so how? Give me some examples.
Think about it. More realistic NPCs environments generated by AI, maybe even games that adapt to how you play in real time.
Whoa! So it's not just about AI making enemies harder to beat.
No, not at all. It's about making games more immersive, more personal, and challenging in ways we haven't even thought of yet.
Like a game that learns your weaknesses and uses them against you.
Exactly. Or one that throws totally different challenges your way based on the choices you made before.
That's pretty mind-blowing. Okay, and what about ray tracing? Another one of those terms everyone throws around.
Right. So ray tracing, it's all about simulating how light works in real life.
Okay.
So it creates incredibly realistic lighting reflections, shadows, everything just looks way more real.
So games are going to look amazing.
Yeah.
But it's more than just eye candy, right?
Right. Ray tracing can actually change gameplay too by making the environments way more believable.
How so?
Imagine using reflections to spot enemies hiding or shadows to track their movements. It adds a whole new level of depth and realism.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So AI and ray tracing, they're the hot new things, but zooming out a bit, where does this leave PlayStation in the big picture?
It seems like they're positioning themselves as a platform that's open to both the traditional way of gaming and all this new stuff.
So they're not ditching consoles, but they're also looking at cloud gaming and this whole AI thing.
Exactly. It's a smart move in an industry that's changing so fast. It's hard to know what the next big thing will be.
Right, so they're playing it safe, covering all their bases.
Yeah, exactly. They're making sure they have something for everyone, from the hardcore console gamers to the people who are curious about the cloud and AI.
Makes you wonder if we'll even be able to tell the difference between consoles, PCs, and cloud gaming in a few years.
Right. Imagine going from your console to your phone to your PC, all seamlessly with your progress saved across every device.
Well, that would be incredible. But what about those gamers who just love that classic console experience? Will they get left behind in this new world?
I don't think so. PlayStation seems really committed to offering choices for all types of players. They get that some people just prefer a dedicated console, something they can rely on. It's not about one technology winning, it's about giving everyone options and letting gamers play how and where they want.
Speaking of choices, there's an interesting point in that Reddit thread about how PC gaming, getting more accessible, might actually be good for PlayStation.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. It's a cool idea.
Yeah, the thinking is that as more people try out PC gaming, they'll start to want those features like higher frame rates, better graphics, even things like mods. And then that could push PlayStation to up their game on consoles.
It's like a rising tide lifts all boats.
Exactly. The better PC gaming gets, the more gamers expect from consoles.
And that pressure can lead to some really cool innovations.
Competition is good, right? It pushes everyone to be better.
Absolutely. Everyone wins when companies are trying to outdo each other.
Okay, so just to recap this part of our deep dive, it seems like we're moving towards a future of smaller, more frequent upgrades with AI and ray tracing becoming the big focus. And while cloud gaming is definitely growing, dedicated consoles are probably going to stick around. But the question that I keep coming back to is, how is all of this going to change how we think about gaming hardware?
That's a great question, and that's what we're going to explore in the final part of our deep dive. So get ready to think about the future of gaming.
Okay, so we're back for the last part of our deep dive. And we've talked about a lot of stuff. Consoles sticking around, cloud gaming, AI ray tracing.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the gaming world right now.
There is. But I keep thinking about this one question.
Okay.
If PlayStation consoles are going to be more about this constant evolution thing, less about those big generational jumps,
Right.
are we still going to get that same feeling like when you open up a brand new console for the first time?
Yeah, that feeling is special, isn't it? Unwrapping it, booting it up, playing a game that just pushes the hardware to the limit. It's like a ritual for gamers.
Exactly. It's like you're stepping into a whole new world of possibilities. But if we're just getting these smaller upgrades all the time, will that feeling fade away? Will it still feel special?
It's a good question. It makes me wonder if maybe we'll start to think differently about consoles. Maybe we'll be less attached to a specific generation, always looking ahead to that next little upgrade.
It's like the difference between savoring a gourmet meal and just constantly snacking, right?
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And it makes me think about how game developers are going to approach making games for a platform that's always changing? Will we see fewer of those big, huge games that define a generation?
Right, and more games that are designed to be updated and changed over time.
Exactly. Will it be all about live service games, or will developers still find a way to make those incredible single-player experiences that feel complete?
Yeah, there's got to be room for both, right? Live service games can be amazing for community and staying engaged, but those big single-player games, they have a different kind of magic.
I agree. I think it's all about finding that balance, you know? Keeping what makes console gaming so great while also taking advantage of what this new way of doing things offers.
It's a challenge for sure for PlayStation.
Mm.
They've got to honor what console gaming has always been, but also push the boundaries, you know?
And it's not just about the hardware and the games either. It's about how all this new tech changes how we experience games and what we expect from them.
If we're always getting these little upgrades, are we even going to be excited for the next big thing anymore?
Right. Will we even notice the difference? It's like waiting years for a sequel to your favorite game versus just getting these regular updates. Both are cool, but they feel different.
Totally. So what will be the big moments in the future? What's going to get us hyped as gamers? If everything is always evolving, will be crazy new AI features, or everyone finally using ray tracing?
Or maybe something we haven't even imagined yet. That's what's so exciting about all this.
Yeah, it's like the future of PlayStation is this blank page and we're all writing it together. So to everyone listening out there, we want to know, what are you most excited about? And what do you hope never changes about PlayStation? Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the future of PlayStation.